Welcome back to Sissy Maya. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update. Additionally, consider subscribing to my Patreon to get access to these features, and much more. James A. Carter is a U.S. Senator from Alabama and an ordained Pentecostal minister from the small town of Marion, where he also once served as mayor. As a Democrat in the South, his unusual, but his religious background helped shape his political career. When the Senate is in session, he preaches at a church in Northeast Virginia. Otherwise, he travels abroad, spreading his faith in South America and Asia. His wife, Evelyn, is a devoted homemaker who raised their 5 children, 3 sons and 2 daughters. Their youngest attends Heritage Christian University, studying Christian studies. James is tall, about 6 feet 2 inches, with dyed blonde hair and light blue eyes. His heavy-set, thanks to his love of rich food. James chairs the Senate Budget Committee and also serves on the Judiciary Committee, which confirms Supreme Court nominations. Known for his segregationist views, James harbors deep prejudice against Black people, Jews, Asians, and Catholics. In his youth, he was a member of the Ku Klux Klan. Though he speaks more carefully now, his beliefs remain harsh. While investigating reports of non-Christian activity in rural Alabama, James sent 2 investigators who never returned. Taking matters into his own hands, he traveled there and encountered a warlock and 10 witches, resembling a polygamist family. When he asked about the missing men, the warlock smirked and said, "You don't want to know what happened to them," laughing unnervingly. James left quickly. He then contacted an old judge friend who issued a subpoena for the warlock to appear at the Capitol the following week. When James served the writ, the warlock and the witches chanted in a strange Southern Wiccan tongue. James fainted. He awoke 15 hours later, alone, feeling changed though his body showed no signs of harm. After a brief prayer, he left. Back in Virginia, James took his private jet to his mansion near Washington, D.C. Concerned, he visited Walter Reed Army Medical Center. The doctor found him healthy except for his chronic conditions caused by poor lifestyle choices: obesity, heavy smoking, high cholesterol, hypertension, diabetes, gout, and an ulcer. Preparing a sermon for Sabbath, James shared his encounter with the warlock and witches, claiming victory over evil. His wife Evelyn, who had not been told about the experience, was amazed. Later, while hosting about 25 fellow segregationist Christian guests, the atmosphere was thick with racist remarks, which James encouraged. The guests toasted the Confederacy and discussed politics. After 2.5 hours, James complained of severe pain. Evelyn gave him ulcer medication. Moments later, his pain vanished, but he had transformed into a 70-year-old Black woman. His hair was a white afro. His height shrunk to about 5 feet, and he gained weight. His male genitalia had disappeared, replaced by large chests. His tuxedo no longer fit, his shoes were too big. When he spoke, his voice was high-pitched with a Southern Black rural accent, asking, "Why are you staring at me?" Shocked, the guests quickly left. Evelyn helped him to their bedroom, changed him into pajamas, too tight over his new chest, and cared for him. James quickly passed out. Evelyn called his doctor. When he woke the next morning, he caught sight of the Black woman in the mirror wearing his pajamas. He dismissed the image with a shrug. The physician came upstairs and began speaking with him. Although James's mind was unchanged, his body was clearly different. The doctor asked if James had seen any pictures of himself. He said no. Evelyn handed him a hand mirror, and he screamed in horror. "What happened to me?" he cried. The doctor gave him a sedative to calm his panic, and James fell asleep again. The following morning, James went to the kitchen where the chef was preparing food. He asked for some milk, which she handed over. She hesitated and then asked if he was really Mr. Carter. Irritated, he snapped, "Of course I'm Mr. Carter, you fool." His voice was unfamiliar, deep, rural, and distinctly Black. Back in his suite, James spoke with Evelyn, requesting new clothes to fit his changed body. She cautiously asked if she could buy bras and panties. Shocked at first, he agreed, realizing his large chests would need support. Evelyn measured him: size 30 dresses, bra size 35K, and shoe size 6, 5W. Evelyn went shopping and returned with 5 modest dresses, 4 pairs of pants, 5 tops, 10 bras, pantyhose, panties, and a coat. James put on a bra and looked at himself in the mirror. "Oh Lord, why did this happen to me?" he murmured. He struggled with the pantyhose but eventually put on a dress and twirled. "I actually like this," he admitted. He told Evelyn he needed to go to his office in the Hart Senate office building. She suggested calling ahead because of his new appearance. He refused. When his limo arrived, James expected to enter the building easily, but a security guard stopped him. "I'm Senator Carter," he said. The guard scoffed. "Sure you are, lady." The Capitol Police were called and took him into custody. James phoned Evelyn from the precinct, and she bailed him out. Afterward, Evelyn insisted he call ahead next time. James agreed. Meanwhile, he arranged for a tailor recommended by his usual suit maker to create high-end women's suits. His first fitting was scheduled for the next morning. Hungry, Evelyn served him fried chicken, collard greens, black-eyed peas, and pecan pie. He devoured everything, read some documents, watched the news, and then fell asleep. The next day, James ate heartily again. The tailor fitted him in a skirt suit with a matching silk blouse and 4-inch black heels. Since his hair was short, he skipped styling. Evelyn helped with makeup. He called his top advisor to explain the situation. The advisor was shocked but supportive. At the Hart Building, James's ID got him through security without issues. Inside, staff were stunned. Could this really be Mr. Carter? Given his intolerance and racism, many were embarrassed. The office was almost entirely white except for one Jewish woman, admired for her intelligence and hired despite the prevailing prejudice. There were no black employees. James resumed work, maintaining his old bigoted views. He pushed a bill to reinstate segregation at the federal level, aiming to restore it publicly afterward. 49 senators supported it, needing just 2 more votes. Meanwhile, James gorged on high-calorie foods, steaks, fries, pies, cakes, consuming about 10,000 calories daily. He rapidly gained weight, outgrowing his suits and ordering larger sizes. He soon became the largest senator, rivaling Gerald Nadler. However, upon seeing the new, transformed James, the remaining senators rejected his bill. "That's just a body. My mind's unchanged," he insisted, but only 4 senators supported him. The bill failed, crushing James's spirits. His adult children mostly rejected his new form, their prejudice against black people unchanged. Only one son accepted him, valuing character over skin color. They shared a heartfelt prayer, while the others refused to communicate. Eventually, Evelyn divorced James, demanding his income, properties, and investments. He agreed. She changed her name to Ariana Camille Carter and officially updated her birth certificate to reflect her female identity. Ariana moved into a small studio apartment in Anacostia, a predominantly black neighborhood in southeast Washington, D.C. She also kept a modest studio in Montgomery, Alabama, since she needed a residence in the state she represented as senator. With no income of her own, her ex-husband took everything. She had to be careful with expenses. Custom suits, gowns, and expensive shoes were out of reach. Instead, she shopped at Walmart, Target, or second-hand stores, sometimes finding great deals on quality clothes. Gradually, Ariana's views on Black, Jewish, and Asian people transformed. She realized it was a person's soul, not their skin color, that mattered. She replaced most of her office staff, except for one Jewish woman she valued for her intelligence. Her new team was racially diverse but carefully selected based on work ethic and volunteer spirit. Her chief of staff was a 40-year-old black woman, a former single mother on welfare who had grown into a highly capable and intelligent professional. Determined to lose weight, Ariana consulted a specialist who suggested either a lap band or a strict diet. She chose to follow a controlled 800-calorie daily plan combined with daily exercise, swimming, jogging, and aerobics. Over 2 years, she went from a size 14 to a size 4. She also switched her church affiliation to the AME Baptist Church, preaching both in DC and Montgomery. With 1 year left in her term, she worried re-election was unlikely since many of her former supporters were racists. Her new platform focused on women's rights, racial equality, and LGBTQ+ issues. She was also known for her sharp understanding of the federal budget. Despite the odds, she won re-election with 95% of the vote. Her young conservative Republican challenger, just 34, attacked her views and accused her of rallying black voters, but the electorate rejected his negativity. It was like a young challenger facing a wise grandmother. At her swearing-in, Ariana was 74 years old, sharp, petite, and dignified. Her children were grown with grandchildren, making her look every bit a grandmother. That same year, Barack H. Obama became president. He admired Ariana and asked if she would accept nomination as Secretary of State. She agreed, with the condition she remain a senator as well. The committee approved her swiftly. Ariana became the third black Secretary of State, continuing to live in her modest Anacostia apartment. Privately, she dated a retired black Army lieutenant general, one of only 13 black generals. They jogged together along the Potomac every morning. Though the media knew of him, his identity was kept out of the news. Balancing her Senate duties with the Secretary of State role was challenging, requiring frequent international travel. She especially loved spending time with children in Africa, feeling a deep connection with them. They were together for 15 years until he passed away. Ariana mourned deeply, visiting his grave daily at Arlington National Cemetery, placing a white rose on his tombstone. Ariana served 3 terms as senator. During her last term, a reporter asked about her shift in racial views. She smiled and said, 2 beliefs. 1, God sees no color. 2, before becoming Ariana, I had a major blind spot. I saw color but missed the full spectrum, the rainbow. The interview lasted 2 hours. After her final term, she returned to Montgomery for good, volunteering at a local elementary school teaching civics, government, and history. Her students were attentive and learned much. She also taught university courses on American government. At 98, her mind remained sharp despite some health issues. She reached out to her 4 estranged children. They apologized for their earlier attitudes. They reunited in Montgomery, sharing how proud they were of her. The following year, at 99, Ariana passed away. She was honored with a state funeral attended by 7 former presidents, the current president, vice presidents, former secretaries, senators, Congress members, and foreign dignitaries. And so, her remarkable journey ended, inspiring young and old alike. Don't forget to join me on Patreon for exclusive content,